What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with another video on Godzilla vs. Kong. So we have some official information from a magazine article about the infamous Godzilla vs. Kong. But first, if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos. At the 100,000 subscribe mark, I will be giving away something that is so darn cool. So it's not set in stone yet, but it's looking pretty likely that the arrangement with Legendary and Warner Bros. Will be going ahead. It will be getting a theatrical release as well as an HBO Max release. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. Check us out on Instagram at Warstu and Twitter WarstuG. So a few days reported that according to a trade deadline, they were saying that Legendary Pictures and Warner Bros. Were close to make an arrangement, at least for Godzilla vs. Kong. It's unclear about Dune or anything like that. But we've got a pretty cool article today, which does include spoilers, kind of, but if you follow this channel in particular, you would already know about these spoilers a long time ago. So it says Godzilla vs. Kong, it's a monster mash, and predominantly it tells you why Godzilla and Kong essentially fight, but that's pretty obvious. So let's go over it. Director Adam Wingard, starring Alexander Skarsgård, Billy Bobby Brown, etc. Like all of Warner Bros. 2021 films, the fourth title in the Monsterverse will now debut day and date in cinema and stream on channel HBO Max in US. Though you'd be mad to settle for seeing these titans clash on your TV, I agree, you would be mad. Plot-wise, we know Monarch will unearth clues to the creature's origin, and a conspiracy theory is threatening to wipe out all said creatures from Earth. Director Adam Wingard, the guest Blair, which insists there will be a focus on characters in this franchise so far, the arcs they have and how they relate to one another. The most important thing, how they relate to the monsters and how the monsters can relate to them. But it's the big G slugging it out with everyone else's favorite gorilla, giant gorilla, and we're here. Still want more? Early action figures suggest, okay, they've blanked this out, but it's essentially Mecha Godzilla will be tag teaming. Now I find this bit interesting because obviously I've told from some that went to an actual test screening on the Warner Bros. Burbank plot. So it's pretty interesting because, careful spoilers, I don't want to ruin your life. So essentially what I've been told is Godzilla essentially and Kong have a fight. There is a winner and it is Godzilla, and they essentially tag team to take out Mecha Godzilla, who is a mechanized Godzilla essentially. So that is interesting, but they've blurred out the Mecha Godzilla part, which is interesting. But also on a different website, it suggests the following reason of why they actually fight. Now this is translated from a German article. So it says terrorists plan an important decisive fight between Godzilla versus Kong. I mean, even if they did decide to do that, naturally Godzilla and Kong would fight for the alpha male, so to speak. Mark, played by Kyle Chandler, and Madison, played by Millie Bobby Brown, sorry, want to prevent it. Obviously, that's pretty obvious. Now that's the main narrative of what happens, but it essentially says that the terrorist group Apex uses Kong to kill Godzilla, but this is fake news because I've literally been told what was screened for the test screening over a year ago now, and there has been additional photography and reshoots since then, so a lot of the plot points could change, but narratively speaking, during additional photography and reshoots, there isn't too much that changes. And it goes on to say apparently they give him weapons too, which is interesting. So apparently the reason they fight is because terrorist group uses Kong as a weapon to kill Godzilla, but I don't believe that because like I said, guys, I've spoke to someone who went to a test screening, and I mean the Apex being a terrorist group does line up with what I've been told, but the killing Kong part doesn't make sense because as far as I understand it, I understand there's a fight between Godzilla and Kong, of which Godzilla wins slightly, but then when Godzilla fights Mechagodzilla, Kong sees that Godzilla's just getting his ass owned by Mechagodzilla, and then Kong comes in to help. So it's kind of like a Batman versus Superman Martha kind of scene, you know, where Batman and Superman end up teaming up against Doomsday. Obviously Wonder Woman comes into the equation, but that's how I would explain it. Now, I don't know how credible the German magazine is, and also just because it's a German magazine doesn't actually mean it holds any validity, any credibility, because it's not Empire magazine, at least the bit we spoke about why these two fight. It's not like Empire, or it's not a credible magazine. Very well it could be credible in Germany, but I'm not very familiar with that, so to speak. Now, the first bit we spoke about when we spoke about the start of the video. That was from Total Film. That is a credible source where it says there will be a bigger focus on characters than ever before in this franchise. So that's from Total Film. I will overlay a picture of it. I think I should be able to do that without getting a copyright claim. But yeah, it is interesting how they blank out the Mechagodzilla part. So essentially they're unofficially confirming that Mechagodzilla will appear in this movie. But if you've been following the channel for such a long time, we already know this. And this means the trailer will be coming because Total Film is a proper publication coming out this month. So usually what happens is you get a first look from certain websites, Entertainment Weekly, Total Film, and this kind of stuff, Empire, this kind of stuff. Then 2 weeks later, you get the official trailer. So I'm going to go out on a limb here, guys, and say that the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer is less than a month away now, because now it's coming out in official, verified publications. You know, Total Film's quite big, or at least it's quite big here, in the UK, Total Film. I think it's a global company as well. So the fact that publications are, this is actually like printed, so it's not just a trade or a website talking about it, it's an actual printed publication document. So it is pretty cool, and it is pretty cool how it makes sure to say the standpoint will be Godzilla and Kong will still be the main aspect of the film, because the main narrative that people hate about the MonsterVerse movies is generally it focuses more on the human aspect than the actual creature aspect. Because you go watch, I don't know, like King of the Monsters, you go watch, you know, Kong Skull Island for the actual creatures, for the monsters. I mean, we know there's got to be human interaction and humans narrative speaking inside these MonsterVerse movies. But when you go watch a MonsterVerse movie, you want it for the kaiju, you want it for the badass creatures to fight each other, regardless to what creature it is. You're going to watch a MonsterVerse movie. You're not going to watch humans talk. So it is really promising what they're saying. And I guess you could say that could be the main narrative of why Godzilla vs. Kong fight. But naturally, they are both alphas. So they want to alpha it out for who is king of the monsters. I know it's not called King of the Monsters, but essentially Godzilla vs. Kong, they're two alphas. Obviously, Godzilla has more power, so to speak, but Kong has more raw power, so to speak. Obviously with Godzilla's flair, but Kong, we know he's gonna swing the tree. We know what he's gonna do. So it is interesting. I don't believe that it's Apex's reason why they fight, and maybe they want to kill like Godzilla off, but it's obviously not going to work because this franchise going forward could be freaking huge. And I'm just glad that it seems like Legendary and Warner Bros, or specifically AT&T, have kind of sorted their problem out. It's not confirmed yet, but the fact this publication has printed a Total Film article in a magazine tells us that we are getting very, very close to the trailer, guys. Just like I've always said, I'll be as transformative, as transparent as I actually can. So I do believe the trailer is very, very close, and I do believe this does reveal some major plot points, so I'll put spoilers in the title. So like always, guys, if you could check us out on Instagram at Warstu, that would be awesome. I do stories and stuff like that all day long. If you want to reach out to me, if you want me to cover a certain subject, just DM me. I try to respond back to everyone. I might not follow people back, I might not follow everyone back, but I do respond to as many people as I physically can. And check us out on Instagram, WarstuG. That would be much appreciated. And I will catch you in the next Godzilla vs. Kong video as soon as I can, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.